I have to start my Lisbon vlog, of course, with the famous yellow tram. And guess what my first activity of the day was? Of course, a free walking tour.
Okay, so this is the place of Martin Moniz.
A name that you will come across a lot in Lisbon is Martim Moniz, and history says that he was super courageous and jumped into a door that was about to close, and behind this door were the Muslims. And just because he was so courageous to jump in between this door, um, the Portuguese people could recapture the city. From there, we headed to the old Muslim quarter. If you see this Fado monument, enter the street and you will see art honoring the Fado singers. You will also see the houses where the Fado singers lived or performed. If you are into history, there's also a wall in like a cartoon style telling more about the history of Lisbon next to the stairs leading up to the Santa Luisa church. By the way, from the church you have also a great view on the ocean, and it's a nice chill area if there are not too many people. In general, you should look for places with the name Miradouro to have a nice view of the city. Speaking of cartoons and art, of course I have to film also some beautiful street art that I saw on the streets. One thing that I love is when cities preserve old historical places that are not very much known, as for example this clothes washing area. I had shown these kind of places also in other vlogs, but I always have the feeling that it's like a little time machine taking me back. Another thing that makes me feel like I'm in a time machine are these old tiles that are hand painted. Unfortunately, there are people who break the tiles from the houses to sell them to tourists. So my recommendation here is do not buy tiles from like a flea market, because it's probably stolen. When I walked through the streets, I passed by this tower, which was designed by someone who used to work with Mr. Eiffel from the Eiffel Tower. And you can definitely see the resemblance in the work that he did. Then, many, many years ago, there was a big earthquake in Lisbon, and this church that you see here lost its entire roof during that earthquake, and it was not rebuilt after that. And here's a short clip from the famous Praça do Comércio. This is where all the shipmen would come and trade their goods. My most favorite place in Lisbon was Belém. I went there to watch the sunset and it was so beautiful. So my first stop was the Torre de Belém, and it was seriously the best spot for the sunset. You had a great view. And from there I went to the lighthouse and to the monument for the explorers who went out from Lisbon, from Portugal, out to the ocean to discover new places. Lisbon marked my last stop on my tour through Portugal, but I will definitely come back.